Everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Rachel. I am back from vacation. I did not do a upload for this weekend because I got back late Saturday night, and I just didn't feel like doing anything like that. So anyway, okay, sorry. She said wanted to come say hi. So look what she went on my vacation with me, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but look, she lost a tooth. So I said she could come say hi real quick. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
And then we're going to go back to bed, and then I'm going to come back, and we are going to review this palette.
I want to see it.
All right, so I'm back. Yes, so this is the Lime Crime Venus XL2 palette. I figured I would do swatches, give you guys my opinion. I've been playing around for a while with it and do a look, and this is what it looks like. Very pretty. I don't think this palette is talked about as much, and it's really a shame because it is such a pretty palette. But anyway, this palette is, ooh, how much is this? 54, 55. It's expensive. I did get this with a gift card that I had lying around, and so I've been eyeing this for a while. This released in January, so this is not like a brand spanking new release, but I had been eyeing this one and eyeing it, and then I was like, you know what? I'm trying to be really good about buying a lot of makeup, as is I think everybody, and this one I just kept coming back to, and so I used that gift card to purchase it. All right, so I am going to get some swatches on my arm, and then I am going to talk to you guys a little bit more about this palette, and then we'll do a little try on and see what you guys think. All right, so let's get into these swatches here. So this has 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 shades. So there are 18 shades. I'm going to turn this down a little bit because I think the ring light kind of obscures the colors a little bit on here. So as you can see here, so these are what the colors look like. I'm going to play a little bit with the lighting to see here. Yeah, that's probably good. So as you can see, this palette is, I feel like a very good spring palette. So it is very, there are definitely some green shades. There is definitely some like bronzy, orangey shades, and then there are some pink shades. And if you look on the packaging, when this palette first came out, everyone was saying, I guess why I got a lot of the bad rap is because everyone expected more green in it. But if you really look at this palette and the packaging, which by the way is absolutely gorgeous, you can see that it does have pink with some green and some oranges in there. So it really does like encompass that color spectrum in the palette. So when you look at that, it to me actually fits very much so with the palette. The other thing to note of this palette, it is vegan and cruelty free. So, and then they list all the different ingredients on here. It is made in, did they say where this was made? It is made in the US. So if anyone cares about that. Lime Crime as a company did have a lot of controversy with the person that used to be the CEO, which was Doe Deer. I honestly am not going to get into that because I don't remember a lot of what that controversy was, but that person is no longer in charge of the company. So whether you want to support this brand or not, it's a whatever it is. But you know, let's talk a little bit more about what makes up this palette. So it does have a nice big mirror and this really cute detailing here. And then going into this, it looks like there's a lot of matte shades, but there's actually only 4 matte shades in this palette. This In Bloom, Sage, Ripe, and then this one Classical. So there's these 4. So I'm going to show you guys on my arm the matte shades here. So this one is In Bloom. I'm looking down here to give you guys the correct thing. This one is Sage, which is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful green color. Ripe, which is right here, which is a nice mid shade kind of coppery brown, and then this dark one called Classical, which is a really good inner corner crease color. Now they have a couple satin shades that are in this palette here, and the satin shades are Obscure and Mystic. Let's see what else. Obscure, Mystic. I would say Laurel. Actually, Laurel's probably more of a that. But the Obscure and Mystic, these two bottom ones, so it's like a pinkish color and it's a green color. They kind of are the ones that mirror these two up here. Let me show you down here. So this is Obscure and this is Mystic. It's such a pretty like iridescent light green, and as you can see this has just a really nice satin finish. So those are Obscure and Mystic, and then the rest are more satin and ones with shimmer in it. So this one here is Crown. It's a really pretty sparkly, there's like a little bit of like a iridescent-y blue green sparkle. I'm just gonna play with my light a little bit, see if I can get that to come out a little bit. Probably not here. Okay, and then we talked about that. This color here is Thorn, which is a really interesting color. So in the pan, Thorn looks really kind of almost pinky in person. This is Thorn right there, the one I'm touching with my pinky. But on the eye and on the skin, it has more of a browny pink color. And then there's these purpley shifting sparkles, and I don't even think you can really pick it up on the camera. The other interesting shades to note that I think are kind of interesting, so Myth, which is this one here, this is Myth. This is a really pretty foiled green shade. Eve, which is this gorgeous foiled pinky color. Laurel, which again in the pan looks like it's going to have more green, is this one here, and it really has a bronze with just a little bit of a shift to olive. It's hard to appreciate on the skin. Radiant, which is one of the most surprising colors in here. It looks white on here, but on the skin, it is just this pretty, I wouldn't even say duochrome, like it goes from a white to a green to an orangey color. And again, this does not do it justice on the camera. This color is stunning for an inner eye color and maybe under the under eyelash area. Yeah, so those are kind of the big colors as you can see going down here. So this is a very dry formula. That's the one thing that I was not anticipating. I like a lot of shadows that have more creamy, buttery, soft texture. That is not this brand's or this particular palette's feel. These feel very dry when you put them on your finger. And so it was different than a lot of other high-end shadows that I'm used to. That being said, they did do very nicely, and I have played around with this and they perform very nicely. The other thing of note are some of these are very smooth and some of these are very chunky. This one, Eve, is quite chunky, so it's probably best done more wet. As well as this color West is quite chunky. Now these don't have a huge amount of fallout. When I was putting these on, I didn't get a lot of glitter fallout. There's a little bit of it, and these do not have an incredible lot of pickup or kick up, as you can see. Like I've used this several times. My daughter's kind of gotten into it, and the pans don't look dug into, and you don't see a lot of stuff all over the place. So that is something, if you like that, that is very good. So anyway, let's I'm gonna pause, clean up my arm. Again, the swatches for anyone who cares. Most of these were single swipes. There were a few I had to do double swipes on some of the lighter colors. But yeah, let's get into it. I'll do an eye look, and I'm gonna talk about my trip while I do my eye look. All right guys, I'm in real close. We're gonna get real close and personal. And I'm just gonna do one side like I normally do, pause and do the other side, and then show you guys the completed look. I'll try to mention what products I use as I go along. This is my all-time favorite. This is the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base that I always use, and I use my finger to just kind of get it in all around here. Other things to note, if you guys don't already know, I've mentioned this like in a bazillion videos, I have dry skin. Oh, and real quick, this is what I took on my trip. If anyone's interested, this is the Violet Voss HG Fun Size Palette. I got this in my Ipsy. I think they just released it for just general buying, but I took this. This was such a great little palette for travel. All right. The reason is I have my little travel bag because a lot of my makeup favorites are in that bag. So I wanted to make sure that I grabbed it so that I could do my eye makeup, and the reason is my favorite brushes are in here. All right, So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and dust and over all over eye shade, or really in here. I'm going to do this eye, and I'm going to use this mirror so you kind of see me looking off to the distance. So I think I'm going to do a pink and green look because, well, it's a pink and green palette in my opinion. And so I'm going to start with this In Bloom shade as my first crease shade. So as you can see, it picks up pretty nicely. It is a little dusty, but not bad. And so I'm just gonna pick it up and plop it on here. And you can see it's fairly well pigmented, but blends out pretty nicely. And I'm gonna take this up pretty high up here. Very pretty color. So, oh, I'm just realizing I need to plug my eyebrows. They're a little atrocious right now. Oh, okay. So that's that. I'm just going to do a little bit more. Very, very, very pretty. Like it. All right. And now I am going to go in with this brush. It's not going to be a complicated look. I'm just going to do a real simple look. And I think I am going to, ooh, what shall we do? Let's do, I know. Okay. So I'm going to take Classical, which is this dark kind of burgundy brown color. And I'm just going to layer a little bit here and up into my crease like that, just to kind of deepen and darken this area. So you can see here, very pretty. And then I'm gonna go under a little bit. I really like, this is my BH Fan Cosmetics brush. I also have one from Sephora I use a lot. I love these fan brushes because if you have a little bit more hooded eyes like I do, it allows me to get up into that crease. So again, I'm just gonna dip just ever so slightly in that one dark color and just tap it in there. Very pretty. Okay. And I'll clean this up at the end. I'm kind of being a little messy. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do now is I am going to take this color here. I don't have my setting spray in here. Oh, actually I do. I'm gonna still do it this way. You guys know that you can do foiled shadows with a brush, with setting spray, or with your finger. I like silicone brushes. I just find they work equally as well. They're less messy. They apply really beautifully. So that is what I'm going to do. And let me see which of these two shades I'm gonna do. So these are the two shades I'm debating. This is Ivy and this is Myth. As you can see, one is more iridescent than the other. I think I'm gonna go with this color here, which is the less foiled. I'm looking for this here. The less foiled shade. So I'm gonna go with Ivy, the little bit more satin finish, which is this one right here, and plop that on my eyelid. Ivy has this really cool, if you can see it on there, there's almost a duochrome shift to it. It's just such a pretty, I really like the satin shades in this one. Oh God, that's beautiful. All right, so very, very pretty. Okay. And then I'm gonna go back with the, this little, well, actually, we'll go back. Hold on here while I find a different brush. Just a little tiny brush to help me kind of buff this out a little bit. I need like one of my little tiny blender brushes. Where are they? Ah, these. I love these little blender brushes from Luxie. They're great when I want to kind of blend in a color to another color. So I'm going to go in with, I think, ooh, let's do a Laurel. Laurel's kind of that in between Ivy and Classical, which is that darker color. And I'm just gonna kind of use it to blend that out just ever so slightly and up into that area. There you go. So it doesn't look quite so like high. I put it in my dark spot. All right. Now let's do this little brush, which is the mini flat angled brush by Luxie. And this is my favorite color in this palette, which is so funny that I am so excited about an inner corner color, but Radiant. I mean, I absolutely adore this color. I'm gonna get it on my brush here, which apparently has a little fuzz on it from my trip. And I'm gonna put it in that inner corner. Can you see that? It's just so bright. This also would make a absolutely gorgeous highlight color. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. I just absolutely adore this color more than I really should. Very pretty. Okay. And I'm going to put a little bit more of that Ivy back on to kind of brighten up this area. Oh, gosh. Those are the colors there. Oh, so pretty. All right, and then with my BH brush, I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna do a little bit of Thorn, which is that one that's kind of the coppery pinky color. And just pick it up, so it's this color right here that has a little bit of that purpley, purpley glitter, purpley green glitter, and just pop it there. All right. All right, and then I am going to take one more brush here, and this is the, I have two of these little angled brushes, but actually, let me grab my other brush. This is the rounded little detailing brush from Luxie. I have two sets of these. One is sparkly and one is white, and I love both of them. And I'm gonna go into Obscura, this really fun satin green pearl. And go under there. Oh. All right. And then, okay, so that is what it looks like. I'm going to go, let's blend this up a little bit more now that I'm looking at it. I'm gonna go put a little, let's put a little bit of Radiant on my brow bone. Oh my goodness, this color is just phenomenally beautiful. So anyway, I'm going to go put some eyeliner on, put some mascara on, do the other eye, get my makeup done, come back and go through it all. All right, so that's what it looks like so far. Obviously, it's not fully done. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. Be back. All right, guys, I have done the other eye, put some mascara on. Let me show you some of the products that I used, and then I'm gonna put some highlighter on. So obviously I used my favorite, which is the Unlashed Volume and Curl Mascara by Wonder Beauty. This is almost out. And then I will start trying a new mascara and show you guys, but I adore this mascara, you know this. So that's what it looks like. I don't like a super clumpy, or I like a little bit more natural lashes. And then recently, I have just been all into the ColourPop cream gel liners. They go on really nicely, they stay really nicely, and they're super affordable. I wish they would make more metallic shades. This color right now, Get Paid, is probably my favorite. It's a light bronzy color, but I am hoping they come out with some other really fun pastel, like metallic shades. I have some of the non-metallic, but I really, really like metallics in there. I don't know why. I did some of my setting spray, which my favorite currently is this Ready Set Radiant Tarte Spray. And I just did a slight touch of blush, which the ColourPop Prenup is one of my favorite. It's the cream to blush type formula. Yeah, so didn't do any what's it called bronzer today. I don't know, I'm not feeling up to it, but I really wanted to take this Radiant, this beautiful shade that I just keep talking about, and I want to see how it does as a highlighter. Ooh, I got my setting spray all over my mirror here. Oh guys, look at that. So this shade, they need to just sell on its own. It is freaking gorgeous. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm gonna run out of this shade super quick because it is so stunning. Absolutely stunning. Wow. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do a little bit down my nose. Cupid bow. And then let's get a lip gloss on. What did I bring? I don't have very many options. I don't know why I don't have very many options for my lip gloss, but I will use the Becca Liquid Crystal Topper. I've been feeling this a lot recently. It's kind of an apricot color. It's kind of going with all the colors that I've recently been choosing. Oh, there you go. That is the finished look. Very pretty. So guys, there you have it. This is the Venus XL palette. I completely realized in the midst of this, I did not talk about my trip. So I did just post a bunch of pictures from my trip with my daughter on Instagram. She and I had a fabulous time. We flew in our first night and drove over to just outside of Anaheim and stayed, and oh my gosh, she was such a tired little girl. And we got up early and we went to Disneyland, and I have not been back to Disneyland since I was 18 for my grad night. I grew up in California, for those who don't know, and so that was the last time I had been, and it has definitely changed in that period of time. I'm 36, so it's been a while, and we just had a blast. We stayed there until about 6:30, almost 7 o'clock at night, rode a ton of rides. It was fun. My daughter was so excited. She wanted to see Alice in Wonderland. That was like the first character that she saw within like 30 minutes of being there in the park. But yeah, so we went there, and then immediately drove back to my hometown of Bakersfield, which, if you don't know where that is, it's not that exciting of a place. But I went for a friend's wedding. A good friend who was my maid of honor was getting married, and so I stayed with some family and got to catch up with some people and went to her wedding. And then I got to take my daughter all over the town that I grew up in, show her where I went to school. I took her to the zoo where I used to live, which is really, really nice and improved recently. And then our last day, we got up early and drove back to LA and went to the La Brea Tar Pits. And unfortunately, the weather was a little crummy, and so it was raining, and it never rains in LA, I feel like. And so although we got to enjoy the La Brea Tar Pits, I felt really bad because like half of that is outside, and my poor daughter and I had to like trudge through the rain. And so she didn't care, but I felt like it kind of took a little bit from that experience. But she had a grand old time. And then we flew out late on Saturday night, got in almost Sunday morning, and then I had to go to work. So this is the first video that I've been able to do for you guys since I got back, and I've been working every day since I got back. And I haven't really gotten any new boxes since then. I do have a video that I had pre-recorded that is my Ipsy versus my Sephora Play. I will probably upload that sometime in this week for February. But I wanted to give you something fresh and update you about my trip. It was a blast. I am definitely going to do a mother-daughter trip again. And for all my friends that I got to see, I am so glad I got to see you. But anyway, I'm gonna go. I did update on that update. On the what's it called? The giveaway that I did. I did get in contact with both winners, and I have their information, and I am going to be mailing that out. I did tell them probably tomorrow, and so I am super excited, and we are getting so close to almost 500 subscribers, which means another giveaway at that point. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will be back on Thursday.